I want you to think about the stat. Ready? 60% of Fortune 500 companies in 1970 are no longer in business today. Let me say it one more time. 60% of Fortune 500 companies from 1970 are no longer around. I'm not saying they're different name or they're no longer around. So you may ask the question, how is that even possible? The 500 biggest companies are no longer around only 46 years later? Yes, they're no longer around. So why is that? Why are they no longer around? Well, look, just like a great country that at one point was powerful and just Greece or Iran and Persian Empire, just like great countries like this can lose their empires, is the same way a Circuit City, a Blockbuster, or Borders can lose an empire like this. Why? They get casual, they have too many victories, they win one battle after another battle after another battle, and they lose it. And so it is very, very important that for you and I as an entrepreneur, this shirt says, I am an entrepreneur. By the way, this shirt gets more conversation starters than I can tell. If you want to know how to get a shirt, I'll tell you about it at the end as well. So just like I'm an entrepreneur, for us as entrepreneurs, you follow this content because you're an entrepreneur. It is very important to be strategic on the way you build your business. And if you think your business that's generating you $250,000 a year, $500,000 a year, $1 million a year cannot be gone, but if Fortune 500 did in 1970, you need to be rethinking your strategy on your business, okay? So I chose 12 models. Here are 12 models I have from the military, not just U.S. Army, military from all over the world. And I was in the Army before myself at 101st Airborne Division, and I got recruited to go become an 18 Delta. 18 Delta Special Forces in the U.S. Army, and there was a unit called the 5th Group at Fort Campbell, Kentucky that was recruiting me because I spoke 5 languages at the time, and they wanted to send me to DLI, which was Fort Planet in Monterey, California. And I was going to go to Sears School, all these other things, and go ship to Vicenza. I got all the orders, I got everything in place, and last minute I chose not to be a Special Forces. But I know so many people that admire military folks, that admire military movies. I got 12 models that I think every entrepreneur can learn a lot from. And let me start off with the first one. This is my favorite one because this is the one I heard all the time when I was in the Army. And this is what the motto was. You ready? Here's what it says. Stay alert, stay alive. Let me say it one more time. Stay alert, stay alive. Earlier I told you about 60% of Fortune 500 companies from 1970 are no longer around. Is because they did not stay alert. They did not stay alive. Blockbuster didn't think Netflix was real. Borders didn't think Amazon was real. Circuit City didn't think Best Buy was real. They did not. They thought there's no way anyone's going to shop anywhere else but Circuit City. There's no way Blockbuster, that was everywhere. Great branding, great logo, great everything. There's no way anybody can put a Blockbuster out of business. There's no way Borders is going to be put out of business. But it happened. Why? They did not stay alert. They did not stay alive. You gotta know about what's going on in the marketplace. You gotta know what's going on with your home office staff, with your sales force, with your assistant, with your clients, with your partners, with your vendors, with the legals, with everything. You gotta know because you gotta stay alert. If you're not, you will be dead in the water in the world of business. Second favorite motto, and this is from the Marines, 1st Battalion, 4th Marine Station at Camp Pendleton, California. This is right out of San Diego. This is what they say. It's very simple. Whatever it takes. Whatever it takes. Now, I know Grant Cardone calls it what? Whatever it takes nation. There's a reason for that. But it says, whatever it takes. As an entrepreneur, you got to know it's whatever it takes. If you got to stay at the office till 2 in the morning, it's whatever it takes. If you got to come to the office and work hard for 2, 3, 4, 5 years to make your business work, whatever it takes. If it takes you spending an entire weekend to learn a product and learn your competitors and you're working 24/7 on the clock, whatever it takes. If it takes you having to read these 10 books and learn and go record your presentation and at night and drink coffee and watch yourself in a video recording on the computer to see how you're selling and what you're sounding like, whatever it takes. If it takes you driving 7 hours, 12 hours to go get a client that may end up paying you $5,000 commission, but it may introduce you to these 20 other clients, whatever it takes. If it takes you taking a flight to go and do something to maintain your life, it doesn't matter. It's whatever it takes. As long as it's legal. It's whatever it takes. And a lot of times I see entrepreneurs who don't make it is because they don't subscribe to the mentality of whatever it takes. Let me give you the number 3 motto. And this is for U.S. Navy SEAL training. This is their motto. You ready? The only easy day was yesterday. The only easy day was yesterday. What do they mean, the only easy day was yesterday? Here's what they mean. If you think training was hard yesterday, it's going to be harder today. And yesterday was easy. So you're saying, oh my God, yesterday training was so hard. If you thought that was hard, today is going to be even harder. As an entrepreneur, if you are not improving yourself, if you're not getting better, the problems in the past you already learned how to solve, but you got to learn how to solve the problems of today. And it's going to be harder than the problems in the past. If you don't make progress to know how to handle the problems of today, you're reverting back to the problems of yesterday. So you got to constantly be getting better. It's a message of constantly having to improve, constantly figuring out ways to be edgy, constantly figuring out ways to get better. If you do that, you stand a chance. If you don't, you're reverting back to your old habits. Number four. This is by the USS Ronald Reagan Commission in 2003. It was a nuclear-powered supercarrier home-ported in Coronado, California. Obviously, the Gipper, Ronald Reagan, the president, had this saying when he had his battle with Soviet Union. This was the statement: peace through strength. Peace through strength. Peace through strength. What does this mean? Look, we don't want to fight, because if we fight, we're going to beat you. If you want to fight, we'll fight. But we'd rather be peaceful and not have to fight. What do you want to do? Okay? Negotiations, going against competitors, going against anybody else. If you want to fight, we're okay to fight. But we'd rather be peaceful about this. Which do you prefer? Okay? Peace through strength. Peace through strength. Now, in order to have the type of peace you want, you got to be strong. So you as an entrepreneur need to increase your strength so you can have peace. That's what you need to be doing when it comes down to communicating with anybody that you have as a competitor you're dealing with. Here's another one. This is the famous one from Leonidas. If you've seen the movie 300, you know that one scene where Leonidas is standing with the spear and everybody's in the Persian army is about to attack. And he says the line that he says in English, but then there's a way you say it in Greek. He goes and he's ready for them to attack him. And in Greek, what he said, in English, he says, come and take them. Come and take them. But in Greek, what he said is, molon lave. Molon lave. Come and take them. You come and take them. By the way, this same military unit that Leonidas started back in the days got disbanded in 2013, I think, got disbanded in 2013. He says, come and take them. Come and take our land from us. Come and take what you got. That's the spirit of an entrepreneur that's competitive and protective and a lot of pride and duty and honor for what they've put into their land. They're going to say, hey, competitor, come and take our clients. Come and show us what you got. You want to go up against us? Come and take them. We're going to fight. We may not be as big as you, but come and take them. It's an underdog going against a massive company. Hence, 60% of Fortune 500 companies from 1970 are no longer around because somebody like Leonidas said, come and take them. Now, in an example like this, obviously we know what's going on with the military there in today's times, but back in the days, there was a general that knew how to lead his people, and when he went against his enemies, he did a great job. Now, number six, here's number six. Number six, this is from Royal Gurkha Rifles, UK. These are soldiers that were recruited from Nepal, and they were known as the bravest of the brave. Here's their saying: better to die than to be a coward. Better to die than to be a coward. What does that mean? I'm an entrepreneur. Better to die than to be a coward. What are you afraid of? Better to die and go face your fears than to be a coward. Better to go on that sales appointment and the other person says no to you than to be a coward. Better to go out there and make that phone call that you're afraid of making than to be a coward. This doesn't mean necessarily going to war, but you're afraid of that phone call. If you're afraid of that phone call, what makes you think you're going to be able to run a big business? Pick up the phone and make some calls. Don't be afraid. If you're going to be afraid, it's better to die than to be a coward. It's better to be rejected than not to make that phone call. It's better to be rejected and not go make that proposal to your client. It's better to be rejected than you go out there and take the easy way out. That's what he means. That's what they mean on the UK military motto. Here's another one. Here's another one from Canada. This was a Joint Task Force 2, Elite Special Forces Force. It's pretty much their Navy SEAL team. Okay, and their Navy SEAL team in Canada, this is theirs. Theirs is facta non verba. Facta non verba means what? Deeds, not words. Deeds, not words. So if you're going to tell your client you're going to do something, do it. If you're going to tell yourself you're going to do something, do it. If you're going to tell your team you're going to do something, do it. If you're going to tell the world you're going to do something, do it. Don't just talk about it. Go do it. Show the results. That's the Canadian motto that they have. Here's one from UK, Royal Navy. This was their Navy. On what they said. Let me see if I can pronounce this right. Everybody from UK, you can hold me accountable to this. I think this is Latin. So it says, "Sis vis pacem para bellum." Si vis pacem para bellum. And what this means in Latin is, if you wish for peace, prepare for war. If you wish for peace, prepare for war. What the heck does this have to do with entrepreneurs? Everything. If you wish for peace, prepare for war. It's slightly different than the earlier one that said peace through strength. It explains in a different way. If you wish for peace, prepare for war. Okay. You want to be peaceful? Yes. Be prepared for an attorney to put you out of business. Be prepared for a company to sue you and put you out of business. But be prepared for war in order to have the peace. Save your money so you don't have to worry about they sue you, go out of business because you don't have the money. Put your money aside in case something happens, an emergency crisis, bad market, bad economy, bad all this. You have the money in place because you're prepared for war, so you're not being put out of business. I can't tell you how many smaller entrepreneurs are put out of business because every penny that we're making, they don't handle their taxes properly. Oh, taxes is not a big deal. I'll get to it 2 years from now. I'm behind for 2-3 years. Boom, big mistake. You're not prepared for war. Oh, I'll pay these expenses and these credit card issues later on. Boom, you address something that you need a high credit score. You don't, they're not going to do business with you. Oh, I'm not worried about these creditors. Pay your taxes, pay your creditors, keep your finances in place, keep a lot of savings in place, be liquid, be ready, be all that stuff because you're ready for war. And by doing so, you will wish for peace. Number 9, this is a German one. And this is from Kampfschwimmer. Kampfschwimmer. German version of U.S. Navy SEAL. And obviously no one knows how big their operations is, just like most of them. And theirs was Lerne leiden ohne zu klagen. Okay, I lived in Germany for a couple of years. Lerne leiden ohne zu klagen. This means learn to suffer without complaining. Learn to suffer without complaining. I'll tell you, sometimes I'll sit there, I'm having a conversation, and there's this one guy I'm doing business with, Matt Sapala and Sheena Sapala. I told him this the other day. I said, man, it's like you never hear complaints from them. They're so optimistic. And so this doesn't mean things don't happen to their lives, but you don't hear complaints from them. So they're so positive, right? They're not complaining. They have so many things that they're dealing with in their personal lives, but you don't hear them complaining about it. Then you have somebody who talk to, how are you? Oh man, I've been sick for a week. Oh, how are you? Oh, you have no idea what I've been dealing with. Oh, how are you? Oh my gosh, my car broke down. Oh, how are you? Everything is something happened to them. Honestly, all the entrepreneurs out there, no one really cares. And I'm dead serious with you. No one really cares. So just don't complain about it. Find ways to fix it. Now here, it's a little bit of a strong verbiage they're using, learn to suffer without complaining. But at the end of the day, you got to learn to understand as an entrepreneur, you are not the only person that's going through not having money. I'm late on this. I have to pay my rent. I haven't made a sale. You are not the only person. But those who make it, they double time more than you. They improve more than you. They work harder than you for them to make it. And if you're one that's already making it, then good for you. You're the example for everybody else. But there's a reason why a few make it. Number 10. This is from 1st Infantry Division. No mission too difficult, no sacrifice too great, duty first. No mission too difficult, no sacrifice too great, duty first. Well, listen, as a business owner, you're going to face a lot of different things. And you're going to have to slay a dragon many different times as an entrepreneur, many different times. But I tell you, none of them are that big that you won't know how to handle. None of them are that big that you can't handle. For the most part, things that put people out of business generally have to do with a lot of lack of being prepared for it. If you don't prepare for it and something happens, you could be put out of business. But that has to do with lack of preparation. For the most part, a lot of things in business are very possible. Obviously, a disastrous economy that takes place, that's a whole different story. But for the most part, a lot of things are possible if the mission's in place. And not a lot of things they're going to be very difficult, but nothing that you cannot handle. And it's got to be mission driven. You got to make sacrifices. Duty first. Your people come first. Duty first. It cannot be you first. Duty, your duty to your people, your duty to your clients, your duty to your investors, your duty to your business owners. That comes first as an entrepreneur. Number 11, getting to my favorite one. Number 11, And this is from Israeli Engineering Corps. You ready? Israeli Engineering Corps. Here we go. The hard we shall do today, the impossible we shall do tomorrow. The hard we shall do today, the impossible we shall do tomorrow. What does it mean? The more you and I focus as an entrepreneur on doing the difficult things today and again, difficult things tomorrow, and you keep doing the difficult things, and you stack doing hard things over and over and over and over and over again, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years from now, you're gonna do something that everybody's gonna say, man, that was the impossible. He or she did the impossible. No, doing the impossible is a culmination of doing 10,000 hard things. That's really what it is. So if you wanna do the impossible, be willing to do 1,000 hard things on a day-to-day basis. All of a sudden you'll have something happen, everybody calls you hero, but you gotta be willing to day-to-day do the hard things. And I'm gonna give you the last one here. We were in Chicago and we were having a stogie. We were having a cigar with my friend Matt Sopala. I mentioned him again earlier. He's a Marine. I think he had, how many tours he went on? 2 or 3? He went on 2 tours himself as a Marine. And we're sitting and we're having dinner, and all of a sudden I see him giving a toast, and he says these lines, and I had to go research on who said this. So this is a line, quote, that's used in the Marines often, but it was said by a guy named Walter Winchell years ago, who was a news commentator. And here's what he said. Here's what he said. It was a beautiful setting. He stood up, he grabbed the glass, and he had everybody else stand up and hold the glass, and he says, never above you, never below you, always beside you, hoorah. Never above you, never below you, always beside you, hoorah. And you see this if you go online and you search those quotes, you'll see it on you'll see it all over the place, and it says freedom isn't free. Never above you, never below you, always beside you, hoorah. That's a very good quote for you to realize that as an entrepreneur, as you're building a business, it's all about the team. It is all about the team. And if you can have your team's back, you're gonna challenge them. If you have your team's back, if you're always with them, if you realize it's really all about them, and if you realize it's not about you being a jerk and being above everybody, and it's all about your show, selfish, then you have a team. And there's a reason why Marines teach about unity. Marines teach us about you working together as a team. And it's not only about the stuff you get here, it's about what the other soldiers that run with you will one day say about you when you're no longer around, or they're no longer in business with you. Because that's what really matters at the end of the day. Anyways, so those are some of the mottos that I like for the military that I wanted to share with you. For some of you guys that are still asking about this shirt, I'm telling you, this is a conversation starter shirt. I am an entrepreneur. It's got the Valuetainment logo here. And for some of you that want to get it, you can go on the store. Is valuetainmentstore.com. Go to valuetainmentstore.com. We're going to put the description link on the bottom, but even if you go on the top and click on valuetainmentstore.com, there's a lot of different shirts. This is a shirt that we just came out with the store, valuetainmentstore.com, and you can get this shirt. I'm an entrepreneur. They have them in different colors, different sizes, great quality, great workout shirt, and put them on. Go out there in the mall, go out there and work out. People are going to ask you questions about you also being an entrepreneur, because entrepreneurs like to talk to one another as entrepreneurs. And Paul, throw me my pillow. My gosh, man, we got to get you to work out. Your left arm is weak. Okay, so Paulo's back. Mario's back from the tour. These guys are all back. They were living in an RV for 35 days, but they are back now. And our goal is still to get to 100,000 subs by August 31st, and we need your help. So I need you to click on the subscribe button wherever this is at on different sites here. Click on the subscribe button to subscribe to our channel, Valuetainment. We believe pound for pound we can go against anybody with our content on YouTube for entrepreneurship, and help us get to 100,000 subs, and invite other people to also watch the content here. And if you have any questions about what I talked about today or any other mottos, please comment on the bottom. Thanks for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.